Welcome, guys, to another episode of Rivals on the Pitch podcast. Today, we're going to go over transfers, and we're going to get into a little more in depth on transfer talks, and we're going to give our point of view on the Club World Cup. Will it have an effect on the Premier League? We do have some couple of teams that are participating in that. Will it affect them? Chelsea, Manchester City? We'll find out. Let's hope it. Hopefully it does, because there are rivals. So, I'm Randy. I'm here with Alan. Sadly, Pat couldn't make it, but who needs them, right? Who needs them? Yeah. You got the two more important ones. You got winners here. Winners. We got trophies, all right? We didn't come in second place.
We don't need to hear all that whining and Thomas Partey's leaving.
Yeah. Give him a home white party, a retirement party. You know, there you go.
So they signed Christian Nordegaard?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, he could serve as a number 9 and blah, 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 Mourinho.
Another one, just in case they got Odegaard missing, they'll just put in him in. You know, it's the same shit. Same thing.
Right.
Whatever. Who needs Pat?
Partey's leaving, though.
No Arsenal talk
today. No more
today.
Partey. Yeah, well, I just started talking
about
more.
Arsenal. Sadly. Well, whatever. I mean, we're at that age where the party ends at 10 o'clock for us, so.
I hope he goes to a team that they don't want him Arsenal fans don't want to see him at. I don't think he'll go to Spurs. I don't really think that's.
What about he goes to Real Sociedad? Because they're buying everyone from Real Sociedad. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, flip flop. Why not? Tradesies.
I wonder where he will end up.
We will see. I mean, there's always these, weird rumors like Barcelona looking at him because Barcelona has a problem with their wages and financial situation. So any free transfer sort of automatically gets, into their window, but we'll see. No. Yeah, it would be nice if Partey would go to a team that is sort of a rival to Spurs. Maybe Crystal Palace. That'd be nice. Well, you know that Eze talk. Is it too soon? Too soon for you, Alan?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think I was just listening to Fabrizio. He was talking about it, and he said some words I don't like. He was talking about Eze being a concrete rumor right now. I guess they made contact with him, and whatever. If he goes there, he's 26. He's getting old. I hope he fails in life if he goes to Arsenal.
Now he's old, right? Real quick, you're judged about me talking about Trent. Now you're going real quick on Eze. You flip flop real quick.
Yeah. If you're gonna go to Arsenal, first of all, Arsenal already rejected you, dude. They told you weren't good enough, and now they're like,
reminder.
We want to come back, man. Grow some balls, come play for the best team, and that's it. Win some titles. He has a better chance of winning the Europa League with Crystal Palace.
That'd be cool if he would go to the Spurs, and for hypothetically speaking, in the world, they would beat PSG. There you go. More salt in the wound for Arsenal fans.
That'd be great.
But we can daydream all you want, but I mean, it's still not concrete. It's still not set in stone yet. But most likely, it looks like he's going to be signing with Arsenal. Sucks for you, though. I know how much you like Eze.
I do, and it hurts. It hurts. It's because we were linked with him for so long,
Maybe you'll actually get Grealish this time then. I know how much you want that.
Right now, we're focused on signing Mohamed Kudus from West Ham.
Yeah.
He's 24. I think he plays on the right and plays midfield. So, yeah. Hey, Premier League experience. I think playing for a team like West Ham isn't the best scenario for most players. So I think he could probably thrive on playing on a team like Spurs, the greatest team on earth. But and he's 24, so he's young, so he kind of fits that profile that we're apparently been going after. But at least he's young, but at least he has experience, so which is a plus because that's something we haven't really done. We've got talent that can evolve for the future, but it's talent that's played in Belgium, Swedish leagues, and other different smaller leagues.
Yeah,
and it's you come into the Premier League, it's not easy to transition. But so hopefully that goes through. But that needs to be like the tip of the iceberg. Is that a word? Is that what I'm looking for?
Tip of iceberg.
As in, there's more left, right? Yeah. That's
there's more than
saying.
Yes, it is.
Like,
Whatever.
it needs to be like, we need to keep growing. We can't just sign Kudos and be like, okay, we're good for the season, because that's not it. We need to be competitive. Look at what Liverpool's doing. Look at what Chelsea's doing. Look at what United is doing.
And
Man
like you
City.
said, Levy wants to compete on all fronts. So if you see
Exactly.
what everyone else is doing, what are we doing?
Exactly. You Levy, you put that out there yourself. And that's the reason why
Is
you
that like
sacked
Ange?
Ange.
Is that like Ange? I always win something in my second year. Now Levy just went out and said that. Now he has
Yeah.
to shut up or put up in the transfer window.
Exactly, because you sacked the manager that brought you a trophy because you want to be competitive. Show it now. Make sure you're out here doing what you need to do to uphold your side of the reasoning why you let your manager, your trophy winning manager, go. So we'll see. Like I said, there needs to be, if it's Kudos, this needs to be just the beginning of our transfer window, not just sign him and go cold, because we're not competing if that's what we're doing. He's a great player. It's a good player. I think he's got good potential. But like I said,
I agree.
It's not enough. Look at what you guys are doing. Look at, even Arsenal, the business that they're doing. Like I mentioned, the other teams I mentioned before, like they're just signing players that are fortifying their team, that are, you're getting great depth. And if we're not, if we're going to be so stagnant during this window, then we might as well just, we're going to be mid-table team again. And that's not what he said in his interview. And that's not what we want. So we'll see. I
But do
always
you
say we will
expect
see,
to
but we'll
be
see.
firing so quickly, especially with the new coach and Thomas Frank, with all the expectations that the fans want? I mean, this is something unfamiliar to him. Champions League, what is it, the UEFA Super Cup?
But
Now pressure from the fans, expecting a little more than just being mid-table. I mean, it's all right if he finishes mid-table this first season. I mean, anything's progress over 7. You got to start somewhere, though.
It's, if you're not giving him the players and the backing, then what difference was switching managers? So it's, we might not expect so much out of Thomas Frank. Like, if but he's not the one that's just gonna carry. If we were like, hey, carry this team by yourself, and you're not getting any more players, okay, your expectations shouldn't be so high. But you should be able to provide the players he wants in the system he wants. I mean, and then Thomas Frank, he was also being scouted by Liverpool before they
He
signed
was
Arne Slot. So it's
someone
not
we
like,
looked at.
I don't think he's some manager that we should just look at and be like, oh, let's give him some time and he needs to adjust. Like, you're coming to a team that's thriving or trying to be a competitive top 6, top 4 team. So that's what you need. You got to hit the ground running. So
I mean, I
he gets a
do
little bit
think
of
he
leeway,
has
but
more experience than Ange. Ange in the Scottish League, and Thomas Frank, who has more experience in the Premier League. So at least he's a little more suited and familiar with that. So I think it sort of benefits him in a way, compared to
I
where
think so
Ange
too.
came, where it was always Celtic winning, Celtic and Rangers. That's it. Here, the top 6, like we saw this season, how close was the top 10 teams into getting Champions League or into Europe? It was very competitive.
And Brentford was one of them. That was there. So I don't think we gotta take it too easy on Thomas Frank. Like, he's in here for a reason, and we gotta make sure we uphold the standards, and he needs to do his part too. I pulled up a list real quick. Something that I just thought of that we should look into. It's on the Premier League table. Speaking of transfers, right? Speaking of Thomas Partey and transfers, there is some free agents this season.
Yeah.
Let me know if you would take them or where you think they should go. So let's start with Dominique Calvert-Lewin.
The Everton, right?
Yeah.
The Evertonian. Yeah, I saw him. He's a big. I think maybe he would go well with Nottingham Forest, because of Chris Wood. He is a little bit over. He's what, 33? They're going to be in Europe, and I think you need someone. I think he'll complement that team well. I know there's other teams that need strikers, maybe like Sunderland, one of these, or Burnley that just came up. They're probably going to need a striker who is a little more experienced. Yeah, scoring in the championship and trying to do those numbers up here. Good luck, but I think I wouldn't.
Just
I would be surprised if he would stay. Yeah, but
derailed his career.
But maybe he can give you some good games. You never know.
Can you see him dropping down to the championship?
No, I don't see that.
A team competing for a team that's that. Like a Leicester City?
Maybe a Leicester. You know what? Come and think of it, yeah, you did mention Leicester City. Yeah, they could go to Leicester City.
I just don't see
maybe
him
gain his confidence up a bit, and then maybe he gets some promoted, and then he can be the main guy. I think it's good for someone who's injury prone. Maybe that's a good start for him. Where'd you see him going?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I see him doing much. I know we were linked with him at one point. I think he's not a bad striker, good work rate, but yeah, injuries are just something that it's especially with what we're going through. I don't think
you don't want another one.
Yeah, no. So, and I don't know how many teams in the Premier League, unless it's one of those teams that got newly promoted. Leeds. I don't even know who's the striker for Leeds.
Sunderland and Burnley. Yeah,
and then obviously outside the Premier League, but even then,
MLS is always enticing.
Yeah, that's true. Thomas Partey, we kind of went over that, so we'll skip him. Nobody wants Partey anymore.
Nobody. That party's done.
Let's see some interesting.
Call the cops on that party. I saw an interview about him talking with Kate Abdo, or Kate Scott, as she's now known, about Kate going to Manchester United. Yeah, there you go. The third name.
United, okay.
And he was like, he wouldn't go because he likes having fun, and Manchester United is having fun. They don't go well together. So he's like, no, I don't know. Maybe I could see him going to Serie A or the MLS. I just don't I don't see him going to the Premier League, honestly.
Yeah, no. I think you're right. Serie A. I don't see him in the French league. Serie A is usually I can see him like
where
an
did
AC
he
Milan.
come up from? Yeah, what? I don't think he started in Bayer, did he?
I don't know actually.
I don't. For some reason, I feel like he was bought from another team. Yeah, but maybe I don't know. Maybe he goes back to his club that he started with, or MLS. Yeah, but Thomas Müller, I think he's like fine wine.
He's played only for Bayern. He played for Bayern Munich.
Oh, damn. In that case, MLS, why not?
Yeah.
Who else is on the list?
Let's see. Jonathan David.
Marcus Royce.
The Canadian. He's been linked with a lot of teams.
Exactly. I think maybe Aston Villa makes sense. Because you did sell Juan Duran. You kept Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins is 29, possibly be 30. And I think you need a younger player to give him competition. And I think that would be well. I think that would fit well. I mean, I know he was rumored with Manchester United as well. Like I said, we'll go into that topic later, but I just don't see him fitting with Manchester United.
This is United, Newcastle, and West Ham. All the Uniteds, Man United, Newcastle United, and West Ham United. Wow, they're all united to sign Jonathan David.
For me, something about Aston Villa seems fitting. You'd get a nice depth of a young player, and you got experience with Ollie Watkins.
The only thing would be, think they're battling PSR right now.
Financial.
Yeah, and I think that's why they probably didn't.
But he's a free agent. All you got to do is pay the wages.
That's true.
Whatever.
That's true.
That's different, though. So, I mean, we don't know that much.
Who doesn't love a good free agent, huh?
Especially Jonathan David, who's putting up good numbers.
Yeah, even though they just got
step up in competition.
Even though they just got knocked out in the Gold Cup.
PKs. Yeah, not fun.
By who? Guatemala.
Guatemala. Yes.
They got nice jerseys. Jamie Vardy.
I get you one. Jamie Vardy. I don't know, man. I know Wrexham was rumored for him, but I also can see him going to what's it called?
Championship
MLS.
team. I can see him in a championship.
Maybe championship too.
Yeah, like Leicester City or something. They might need
or maybe he goes to New York Red Bulls. He drinks it. You'll become the official sponsor, man. There you go. Perfect.
They're getting the ultimate European cereal winner. Team of dude's got a Europa.
Good luck.
He's got a Champions League. What else do you want? That dude's conquered everything.
Even the bench. Yeah, but I don't know. I think if he would go, maybe I could see him in a championship, or like I said, what's it called? MLS.
Yeah, I
Partey,
think MLS is
we'll
becoming
see.
a more popular destination. Who knows? I think the way the Club World Cup is being represented and the issues that are being brought up, I wonder if that's going to make a lot of players second guess coming to play in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean,
With the
they don't
heat
know
and
how
all
big
that.
the U.S. is, the
Yeah,
time difference,
exactly.
the playing in the brutal winters like that. Yeah, it's a lot to take into consideration.
And if you're playing certain places, the elevation. All right.
Yeah,
Christian Eriksen.
Erickson. Oof.
He
Would
used to
you
be. He was
on it?
man. He was.
Would you take him back?
No. That would be more of an emotional decision, like with Dele Alli and Eric Christensen, and I would
He
love to
played
see
for
them.
Brentford, right?
Christian
Or was
Eriksen?
it Bournemouth? Yeah.
No, he played for Brentford. He played after.
I mean, that's familiarity with Thomas Frank. Oh, it's a nice reunion. Thomas Frank at Spurs, come back.
Yeah.
I mean, it sort of makes sense. Familiarity, maybe. I mean, you guys are all full of youth at Spurs. You do need a leader, but I mean, that's just like a
He's
happy
a
ending type of thing. But
exactly.
I don't know.
Rangers
I
and
feel like
Ajax
maybe
are
he
the
can
two
go back
clubs.
to. Yes, I feel like he can go back to the Netherlands, to the Dutch league. Go back there. That'd be nice.
Rangers, not bad,
Rangers.
especially yeah.
The Pink Ranger. Yeah.
Danny Ings.
Danny
What?
Ings. Oh, my boy. Danny Ings. So much
He's only
potential.
32. I feel like
I
he was like
think he's,
42.
but his knees and legs are probably 42. He
Yeah.
has another career cut short by injuries. I feel like he's almost like Andy Carroll, who's playing in like the third division in France. I feel like he's probably championship,
Isn't he like paying to play?
quality. Yeah, I mean but I mean he likes it because he's not getting noticed as well much,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
fine. But Danny Ings, he got cut short by injuries. So much potential. Maybe I can see him like at a Leicester, like in a championship type of team. It's just sad
Yeah.
for him. He had so much potential, but injuries just derailed it.
I think a lot of these free agents, they're probably too costly, but if you're a championship team that wants to make a push to get back into the Premier League or get into the Premier League, like if you're Leicester City, one of those teams that were demoted, what was it Leicester City, Southampton? Southampton usually, I feel like they're more of the hidden talent type
But
club.
Danny Ings was, I believe, in Southampton, so it'd be a
Yeah,
nice
actually, yeah, he
reunion.
was.
So, to go back, bring them back up, maybe you can rejuvenate your career a little bit. I mean, you're on the wrong side of 30, but
I don't
at
think
least get a
it's
good,
just end in a good mark,
yeah,
because you're competing in a lower league, but you're playing for a team that has a shot to come back up. So I don't think a lot of these free agents should get targeted by some of these teams. And hey, you get experience,
yeah,
you get Premier League experience on the team. If you're a championship side, you probably have a bunch of younger guys, lads
yeah.
on that squad that need some leadership.
Advice.
And yeah, Willian, the Brazilian,
He's he's been everywhere, man.
he really has. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
think he's
Maybe he goes back to Brazil. I feel
yeah, I can see
that would be
that.
fitting. Go back to Brazil.
Ashley Young. Not so
Ashley
young.
Young,
Ashley, not
retire,
so
bro.
young.
Go to MLS, or maybe Saudi's looking at you. But I just think at the end of this, call it or retire, bro. MLS or retirement. I think his good days are
He's turning
done.
40.
Yeah, exactly.
He's almost
Actually,
as
old.
old as Pat. That's crazy.
Good thing Pat's not here. He would reboot that.
I'm gonna mess up his name. Fabianski. Fabianski.
Fabianski, the
The
goalkeeper.
goalkeeper for West Ham.
But goalkeepers, they do tend to play long. He'll be a good backup for
Yeah,
some team.
but he's 40.
Maybe, yeah, but look at, I mean, I'm not trying to compare him to Buffon, but
But that's
at
Buffon.
least, yeah, but he can be a good goalkeeper, third option, maybe a cup run or something, experience
Yeah.
teaching the new goalkeepers, maybe a championship team,
I think
or
like having him as
maybe,
a third
yeah,
keeper, where you're more of a teacher than you are you're an option, but you're also more of a
yeah.
teacher then have the potential of starting if both your
What
starting
is he? I think he's like Polish, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's Polish.
He might be Polish, or go back to Poland, or I mean, I do feel like he maybe have another year. I feel like he could be just a third option for some team in need of a goalkeeper with experience and leadership.
Yeah. I think it's still pretty impressive, even if I know the goalkeeping position isn't like the most physically demanding, but I feel like you have to be somewhat. You have to, your coordination and your reflexes have to be on point. So, oops, what's that? You have to be on point. And having that sharpness at 40, that's impressive.
Phone. That's a different guy though.
Yeah, he played forever.
And then either like a Keylor Navas, but another one.
Neo Mape. Oh, he's only 28. He's only 28.
28. Really? What, he played for like what, Brentford? Or played for
played for Brentford. He played for,
I know he sounds familiar.
Brighton.
Sorry, I'm not familiar with your game. But
he's a big trash talker.
Trash talker. Me?
You know what he looks like. He plays for Marseille now, I think. Or he did. Played for Brentford, especially with Tony. He played alongside Tony on his last year.
I don't know.
Smack. Let me show you a picture.
Maybe he stays in the French league.
Should I show you a picture to the camera, or should I just send you a picture?
Send me a picture. Send me. Not that picture, Alan, please.
Hey, a brown eye.
Yeah. I know the guy, but it's just like once I see the face, I'm like, oh, yep, I know the guy.
He was, I think, you say it.
What's the guy's name again?
A big personality. Neo Mbappe.
Oh, this guy.
Mbappe. Yeah. You know him. Come on.
He's all right. Pass. Next question. Next person.
Lindelof from Man United. Victor Lindelof.
Yeah, but he's like maybe experience. I could probably maybe see him going to Everton or who else needs, or maybe like one of those teams that just got promoted. Leeds, Burnley. What was the other one? Sunderland. Yeah, maybe give him a little experience. Hopefully, they trying to keep him up while he can.
Yeah,
I can see him going that. I mean, he is, like I said, he's older. At that point, you want staying power, so you might want to go for someone who has experience like him.
Captain of Sweden. Ooh, I'm gonna mess up this guy. Doucouré from Everton. Doucouré.
Oh, he had a good run though. I mean, for a couple games,
like towards the end of the season or mid-season, or it was like one of the final thirds. He was,
but he's like a real tall player though. He's like almost like a Peter Crouch type of. I remember. No, that's Beto. My bad. I'm getting confused. That was Beto, who's freakishly long. Doucouré. Yeah, bro.
Freakishly long.
Edit that shit. Yeah. Look at him. He's like Slenderman. But Doucouré. I feel like he might be a mid-table team still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see him going to a big team. I think he was Everton, maybe like a West Ham or something like that.
Maybe.
I think he might stay in the league, but it just might be mid-table. I don't see him making a bigger move.
Yeah. And then Sergio Reguilon.
Oh, you're a guy? You're a boy?
Yeah. He played for United, Brentford. He came from Real. We got him from Real Madrid. We thought we were getting some underrated.
But they got you
fullback, but he wasn't bad. His crossing can be really good at. I don't think he's a bad player, but I don't think the Premier League is for him.
Where did he go now? He was in Spain, right?
No, he played with us this season. He made he played like twice. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we can get him off our books, but thankfully we had him because of our injury crisis we were in. He actually had to play a few games, but
I feel like he might go back to Spain.
I can see that.
I think that's where he had to. I feel like that's where,
as a team, you see that he's not playing so much for Spurs, for Tottenham. Why not have gone for him earlier, you know? Or even for a loan. I felt like he wasn't getting too much attention from other clubs. And now that he's a free agent, we'll see. I think at the end of the day, all these players are free agents. And the fact that they're free agents might say something, you know, besides a few here and there it kind of says like, okay, there's a reason why you're a free agent. There's a reason why you haven't been extended or, sought out by certain clubs. But we'll see. We'll see how many
maybe
of these.
Maybe goes to Turkey is nice this time of year.
Yeah, that's true. Some of these players. I wonder how many players will make it to the MLS. Yeah. Or the Saudi League. Or like you said, I think we had a lot of these guys going down to the championship, and let's see if that's correct or not. And who knows? Maybe we should be GMs or not GMs, we're owners.
Let's see at the end of the window. We'll see where our players go. Let me write this down real quick. Maybe I might be playing Football Manager, and then I could be like that one guy who is a coach for Ream or whatever, and he's been getting fined because he hasn't been getting his coaching license. Maybe that could be us. I can quit my 9 to 5 and, bring a team
it's like up. That one. I don't know if you heard the story of this one guy that was like a fan of a Brazilian team, and he ended up becoming like the owner, and he just he was signing player off of a Football Manager or something like that. He was using that to like scout, and then he ended up winning like some sort of championship and. Good,
crazy, bro.
Feel good stories,
Yeah.
All right. So that took a lot longer than I expected.
Oh, that was good.
Good segment. Congrats. Pat missed out. Good, because we don't care about his opinion anyway. He's from Arsenal.
Yes, we don't care about second place.
So some of these guys we were talking about, especially with what's his name, Jonathan David, and I had sent you a post earlier about transfers and how Newcastle, basically, a lot of their transfers are being rejected. Players are rejecting them, and clubs are rejecting them. And then you have players that are Juan Pedro. I feel like he can be a great star for Brighton. Brighton's not a bad team. Brighton's actually a mid-table team, but they have the potential of creeping into the top 6 once in a while. And you might be able to get European football out of them. They have a great way of, signing talent. Keeping talent, well, not keeping talent, but signing talent and keeping
them enough,
a team that's productive. But then he goes and plays for Chelsea, and look at the squad that Chelsea have. Chelsea have a huge squad. Like how do you know you're going to go in there and play? So why is it that teams or players, I should say, are finding clubs like Chelsea and Man United more attractive than a Newcastle? Newcastle had their issues, but you don't want to play next to Alexander Isak, the squad they built, Sandro Tolini. Like, what is it about Newcastle that makes it so unattractive?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get, all right, João Pedro, he's Brazilian, right? I'm not trying to, downplay, the poverty of South American countries. They've struggled to get there, and when you come across a team like Chelsea who's going to offer you wages that Newcastle can't offer, and it's almost guaranteed money. What's his contract like? Another 8 years, just like everyone else on Chelsea? It's good money.
7 years, I think.
Yeah, Chelsea has a better history than Newcastle. As you can see, they're in the Club World Cups. They're in the Champions League. They just won the Confederation Cup, but I understand. I mean, I don't know what he's thinking, but I just see that's a lot of competition. You got to beat out 10 guys to get on the bench and then to start, compared to Newcastle, which is less.
They signed Liam Delap.
Yeah, forward though.
Like they're
just hoarding.
I'm not saying that Juan Pedro would have gone to go play with Newcastle, but it's like teams are running to play for these. I
think it might be following the money. In a sense, I guess
the money, the badge at one point. I mean, like you said, it. Growing up, when you're from, South American countries, when you look at who they idolize, it's Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man United, Chelsea, like all these teams, like that's who they grew up watching, and that's who was popular. Like if I go to Colombia right now, and I'm like, hey, do you guys know who Brentford,
the Saudi League
is? Yeah, that's John Duran. He watched it. I don't know, Caracol. I guess they had the Saudi League on, but it's you can see why. Like, there's a connection, obviously, right? And even like growing up in where we grew up, we were a big Latino Hispanic community. Like, it was what was it, like 90% of us or 80% of us were Latinos. You know, you had Colombians, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and so like even there, you know, you saw a lot of people rocking the Barcelona jerseys, Real Madrid jerseys. No one was wearing a Newcastle jersey, right?
Nobody. Unless you're
So like,
Andrick, who loves what Bobby Charlton, whatever. In that case, that doesn't
he
exist
watches black
back
and white
then.
movies. But
Yeah.
like, even if we were, you know, take our community and then just amplify it, you know, bringing like in South, you know, in Colombia or Brazil, like you said, like there's probably even less exposure to some of these teams, and that's all they see, you know. So I can see why a club like that might mean something to them. But once you're in the league and you're a professional and you have agents, like, why is it still so attractive, you know? And I'm not against it. I just, to me, it seems like I'm surprised that Newcastle hasn't been able to sign the players that they're after, especially after being taken over by such a powerhouse. I know they can't spend like they want to, but the potential's there. Like, if they start winning, if they're in Champions League, you know, they didn't have an awful season. They finished what, fourth?
Newcastle?
Yeah.
I think they made it. I think they got to be like fifth or fourth or something like that.
I
They
think
just
it's
made
fourth
it from
because
the
it
skin of
was
their teeth.
Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Newcastle.
Yeah. And then Chelsea, I think, was the last one.
So, and I don't know, maybe it's PSR and whatnot, but it almost sounds like even Isaac doesn't want to be there, you know? And I don't know.
Yeah. There's all these rumors, but to me, when you look at Newcastle and you see Chelsea, you know who your star striker is, Isaac. You don't know who it's going to be for Chelsea. Your goalkeeper, you don't know who your goalkeeper is for Chelsea. I think it's still like musical chairs there in a sense. In Newcastle, you're a little more set in stone. You're a little more, you know who you're going to start with. And for me, if I'm going to join a team, I want to play. And I have a better chance of playing at Newcastle because there's less competition.
Yeah.
Compared to Chelsea, where, like I said, you got to be 10 guys in the training field and stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I do and I don't. We just went blank.
The brain fart. And then about that, we'll go, as we always mentioned, Manchester United. Another team that
they're another
it's
team
like,
that's, I think,
what is it about them that's attractive?
I can almost understand United over Chelsea. I can see that United, I don't know, Pat's brought it up before, even though his opinion doesn't matter.
Pat who?
Yeah, who's like being the hero. You want to be the one that brings the team up, right? You want to be the player that re-energizes the team and gets the team going again, and you know, back on its winning ways, and you know, now you're cemented in history and whatnot. But man, like, seeing what the ownership is doing, seeing how the fans are treated, the cuts that are being made by Radcliffe or whatever his name is,
Yeah,
it's like, why do you want to be part of that? Sure, maybe it's just the club is bigger than that. You know, it's bigger than one singular person. And because the same argument can be with Tottenham. Like, why would you want to play under Daniel Levy, who isn't going to pay you, you know, and everyone just thinks he doesn't want to win. But the club is, my way of thinking, you know, that the club is bigger than Daniel Levy. So maybe that's the same process for other people when they see the club. They just don't notice the red flags, or they're not red flags for them. Maybe it's just something that, like you said, they want to be the hero in the story. And well, I don't know. I just feel bad. I don't want to say I feel bad. I just feel like the glitz and glamour of saying, "Oh, I play for Chelsea or United," is something that a lot of players go for, you know. But hey,
yeah.
if I should have been good enough to be professional, and maybe I could talk the shit I want to talk, but until then, I can't really say much, you know. So
at that point, we'll be playing the MLS at our age already. We'll be cut from the team.
We'll be playing not even MLS. We'll be playing the United Soccer League. I'll be over here playing for the locomotives. with his beer gut. Man, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sunday League, bro. Sunday League.
Yeah, right. What was I gonna say about Newcastle? Not Newcastle.
I don't know. Good question.
It was Newcastle, and then my brain said something, and then you said something, and I forgot what my brain had said.
That's what it is. He's just like Pat, an Arsenal fan, blaming someone else.
Yeah, it's your fault.
There you go. I didn't know I was talking to Arteta. It's Arteta and Randy today.
Oh, Man City. Like what we were talking about, going to a team like Chelsea. Look at City with the talent that they were playing. Look at Jack Grealish. Dude barely sees the field like the way he should. The amount they paid for him. Like, do you think he regrets it, or do you think the money was worth it for him?
He was at West Ham. No, he was at Aston Villa. He won trophies. He did play in the beginning. I'll give him that. He did play in the beginning. Then his form, whatever, his form or his attitude or whatever it was.
Just them signing
maybe his
players?
Attitude but he did win compared to what he would have done at Aston Villa. He got a lot of money. I think he's just, I don't know. I feel like I can sort of see him being like more of like a party animal than a professional, because you see how he is.
But maybe that's why.
Maybe that's just the look he is. Yeah,
maybe it's because he doesn't.
If you want to be playing time, you'll be on the field, staying late after practice trying to prove it. But
I guess
I think for him, he's got the money, he's got the accolades, the trophies, he's got all that stuff. At the end of the day, he can say, I'm a Champions League winner, I'm a Premier League winner, all these things. But if you look deep into it, you can see, did he play a lot? Did he have an effect on this team? Yay or nay? It's like the goalkeeper who's a backup for Ederson. He's only played like maybe 5 games, but yet he's got so many trophies. At the end of the day, you don't care if he played. You see his trophy room. That's what counts. So I think for him,
look at Kyle Walker. What he said. He said he'll give up trophies to go win something with Tottenham because it means more.
Yeah, he'd give up because he already has a Premier League trophy, so he can afford to give one up. No, I understand. It's like when Trent said that to Man City. Is like, oh yeah, ours means more, and you guys were talking shit about that.
Exactly.
But now it means more. Now you're.
No, but
look at there. But no, I understand.
Now that we're on the same side.
Oh wow, same side. Oh, now you're a winner. That's why. But no, I agree. I think Kyle Walker, he stayed there for a long time. He tried, like Harry Kane, and to see that, I feel like everyone who left Spurs wish they would have won something. Ericsson, I wish he would have won. Who else, man? Who else? Van der Vaart, back Harry in the Kane. Day. Harry Kane. I think everybody would trade something to win with that, with Spurs.
Oh yeah.
But so I respect him. I mean, it's hard. A lot of people wouldn't say that. Kyle Walker, hats off to him for saying that, and I think he means it.
But I think that goes to show
something about that club is special to him.
Not just that. That also goes to show that like you have these teams that are just can buy whoever and whatever. Your depth is so like. It's like the Chelsea, like you win something with them and it's like, okay, well, was that really meaningful? So that's why I feel like sometimes like if a player were to choose Newcastle, or if, Isaac will stay at Newcastle and want something with them, like it would almost be, I don't see why that isn't as attractive as just going to play for a big team, and getting lost. Like look at Real Madrid. They signed tons of players. And sometimes they just get lost. Like Endrick, you mentioned Endrick. Where is he? He was his big deal. He was the next Pele. He was, this young kid. And guess who we're talking about? It's not Endrick, like that quickly faded away. Now they're talking about this kid from Argentina. I forgot his name.
From River Plate?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why not go to a team that you can make your own? Like I said, I'm not a professional, so I can't really.
I mean, maybe if we were getting that type of money offered, I mean, we'd switch our morals and be like,
fold like a lawn chair real quick.
Yeah, that's why I sort of like teams like Atletico Madrid before they started spending that much money. They had academy players, Griezmann, Koke, Saul, all these players, and they would compete well. That's why like Borussia Dortmund as well. They didn't have the best. They had academy players. they'd make these players into stars. That's what I sort of like.
Yeah.
I'm tired of like the Galactico errors. You Manchester City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, where you buy Bayern Munich, where you buy all these
Liverpool.
players, and yeah. Oh wow,
He said,
Oh,
yeah,
Liverpool.
got him, coach.
Almost said. Oh no. Edit that. Clip it. Cut that out. No, but
Got him.
but I hate that.
Yeah, it's true. And that's
you're not, like you said. That's why when people say it means more, it does, because you did it the hard way. You busted your ass off. You didn't break the bank. You didn't do all that stuff, and you did it. And
that's
compared
why, like,
to someone who bought it.
Exactly. And now look at this Chelsea squad. Like, they're just buying. I won't say they're buying whoever and anyone they want. I'm sure they've got some rejections, but it's like they're selling their women's team to afford like all this. They're like the best in PSR.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They know the rules. They know the.
And like,
I don't know, man.
It's like they're able to just pick and choose and put in pieces and get whoever in the club until they figure it out. And they're like, okay, we figured it out. Yeah, of course you figured it out. You have 50 freaking players on your squad. Like, yeah.
And they spent what? They're gonna spend like $2 billion on.
And then
most of it is because of Brighton.
Right? But oh well.
Whatever. That's Chelsea's problem. But to me, can money buy you happiness? I don't know. We gotta, as a Chelsea fan, that
maybe.
But I don't know.
You know what it does? It helps you not get charged with 115 charges. That's what it does.
Which is still, where is that going?
Nowhere.
No updates. I thought.
Randy, stop waiting for updates. Listen,
I want
Tottenham. We won a trophy. Tottenham won a trophy before Man City was charged, and that says a lot.
Yeah. Whatever, man. Fuck it. It is what it is. Maybe that'll happen next year. Whatever. It doesn't. At this point, there's more important things to worry about.
The way they're spending, they're not getting charged with shit.
Yeah. And then you got teams like Lyon that gets relegated. Everton, Juventus back in the day.
Yeah.
What's going on with this world? But whatever. That's enough for transfer talk, I guess, right?
Yeah. It's been a slow season, transfer, I think, due to the Club World Cup. Yeah. That's true. You guys did all your business real quick.
Yeah, but man. Black Friday, bro.
The main reason it's been so slow, I think, is because of the World Cup, and you were at a game. How did that go?
It was awesome. It was good. It's good. I got to see Messi again, which was nice. It's not every day you get to see the real champions of Europe. Because if Everton were there, I mean, if Spurs were there, they would be playing, but they weren't. So technically, asterisk.
Technically, right? They haven't played yet. Technically, the champions of Europe haven't faced each other, so no one has been crowned yet.
Whatever. But it was an awesome experience. I liked it. Yeah, I can attest to what some people have said. Yes, it's hot, and that's coming from an indoor stadium. But to get to there, the subways, it's sort of a little preview for the World Cup that's coming next year. It was packed. It was nice. The stadium was beautiful. If you've ever been to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, it's awesome. It's phenomenal. You get cheap beer, which of course that's what I take advantage of.
How much was the beer?
I spent $10
for one beer.
One beer.
That's not bad.
But it was compared to something else. Mercedes-Benz is trying to be like the one stadium where when you get a burger, it's going to be as much as it costs outside. They're not doing that whole stadium pricing stuff, but the stadium was nice, but I went. When did I see it? I think it was a Saturday game. No, it was a Sunday game, but it wasn't packed. So and that was a Sunday, a weekend game. So it wasn't packed, but I could see why it was why the games aren't as packed during the week, because the scheduling. You got noon games, 3:00 games, and those are the times where people are working. If we're gonna do the World Cup here, you got to do those like 5:00 games, 7:00 games. Sorry, the teams from Europe or across the world. When it was in Korea, the World Cup was in Korea, I woke up early to watch it. When it was in Russia, I woke up early to watch it. Everyone can do the exact same thing or stay up late. But if you want the World Cup to look, or even the Club World Cup to look full, you have to be reasonable and do those late.
Yeah, and I think the Cup World Cup, especially, I feel like they should have not started this new format in the U.S. because there isn't that much popularity here. I feel like the attendance is due to like we're a very diverse country, and I feel like there's like the Brazilian teams, the Argentinian teams, they had a big showing here. I think the World Cup is not going to have that issue. I think people have a lot of patriotism and towards their home country, and even if you're in the US, why not? You're allowed to, you're be proud of where you came from. So I think there's gonna be a lot of showing for them.
Even with ice looking.
Buggo. Bastards. And then and we got games being hosted in Mexico, the US and Canada, so that's gonna be pretty cool. I don't think it's gonna be the attendance issue. I don't think it'll be the same. But I'm hoping for the next World Cup, Club Cup. I don't think a lot of teams are going to be buying into it. I don't think a lot of teams are going to be excited to be invited to it because it seems like it is going to be an impact on fatigue. I feel like if it becomes
some teams are going to be playing the whole year. Let's just take into consideration.
But there's no break. If FIFA is successful in making it become I think what they want it to be, they wanted it to become the world's biggest club tournament, like to surpass Champions League, surpass the old great Europa League,
Yeah.
They want it to be this top tier tournament. And if that happens, like what is that gonna do with wages? How is that gonna make you structure your team? So now you're looking at this competition that's every 4 years. That's if it becomes the biggest club competition, it's probably gonna be paying pretty well, right? So what are you gonna do? At the cost
of what?
Exactly. What is that gonna mean? Like your depth is gonna be you're gonna be looking like Chelsea, That's how prepared you're gonna have to be, because in order to get into this tournament, I think you gotta win a big competition. So off the rip, you're already like at PSG, like you mentioned, PSG played this whole season, and they're probably gonna be going far into this competition, and then they're gonna be going into the Super Cup against the world's greatest team, and then they're gonna start their season again. And it's like, what are you gonna have to do to make sure that you're competitive 365 days of the year? And that's gonna be more wages. That's gonna just because you're gonna bring in more players. Your squad depth is gonna be insane. What is that gonna do for ticketing? What is that gonna do, for season ticket holders? Like you said, the concessions at stadiums, what is that gonna do? Our jerseys gonna start costing, kits are they gonna start costing more? And I wonder what's gonna happen. Do I think that it's gonna become greater than the Champions League? I don't think so. I think the Champions League right now,
it's something that's been there for long. Exactly, heritage. I mean, this is sort of cool. This is where you get to see who actually is the best in the world, because, like we said, we have some Brazilian teams who are showing up. What Fluminense, whatever, just beat Inter Milan. Look at that. That's a great game. So it's now we finally get to see who's the baddest in the yard. We're gonna see who's the best team is.
Who has the best milkshake?
who has the best milkshake? But that's what everyone wants to see. We always have these questions: is the Brazilian league up to the stand up? Can they compete against the Spanish giants? And so far, it seems even MLS put up a decent showing. But at least we get to see where we're up. And I think it's good for every 4 years. It's just decent. But if you're
a good thing, that's a plus.
Yeah.
If it was an annual thing, it would just be too much.
That's too much, man.
If it was every 2 years, you're like, okay, but this is still a lot.
But the thing is, every year there's always something. You got the Nation Leagues, the Euros, a Gold Cup, Confederation Cup, all these things. Where are you going to get rest? As an owner, I want my players, because I'm paying their wages, I'm paying them. I want them to play for me during the season. And if they can't play because of these competitions, then I'm
I feel
losing
like
money.
that's honest. I see it the other way around. If I'm an owner, I'm saying, all right, where else can I put my team? Where else can I put my team? What other tournament is there?
Put them on a billboard. Put them in commercials. Don't put them on the fields where you're risking injury and then you're paying someone to be in the hospital.
But what's the best exposure? Score lines, putting them on the field themselves and say, hey, here's my team.
Maybe a feature on Rivals on the Pitch. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Think outside the box, bro.
Exactly.
I mean, but we all have different opinions on it. But for the Club World Cup, I just think it's good exposure for Americans to see these great players, great teams play along, and it helps us prepare for the World Cup. Honestly, when I went, it's a good showing, and I can expect when the World Cup comes, it's going to be crazy.
I can see the reason, because what I heard was reading was that they're trying to have the U.S. host it again the following
I heard that as well.
World Cup. And I feel like the reason for that is they know there's a market here. They know that U.S. sports viewers pay a lot of money. You know, you're paying a lot of subscriptions, not prescriptions. I mean, we pay for medication too, but subscriptions. Yeah, if you can't get it up, make sure hims.com.
And then you go to your subscription on OnlyFans.
Exactly. So you get both, a little bit of both.
There you go. So they segue, but oh man.
So I mean, you play for YouTube TV, and that's, I know, I was reading something crazy, like the NFL ticket brings in so much money. You have the NBA Live or NBA TV. So like, I'm sure they're coming here because they know there's money here to be made. And if you can get some of these guys to finally start, noticing, oh, look at PSG, look at how they play, get some of these guys, guys and girls, excuse my language, the US population into football, into soccer. I feel like they're trying to tap into that resource and get some of that money and get like with Sky Sports or something out over here where we sign up for it, and now we can watch the Premier League, all games. We can watch, it's like kind of like Peacock.
Yeah.
They have their contract with the Premier League, and then CBS has it with the Champions League. So I feel like they're trying to like mold that, get people in the US more interested in football. And so I like it. I do and I don't. I see both sides of the story. If this stops owners or whoever's trying to build the Super League, if this is what the outcome is of it, League. I feel like I'm okay with that. Like if this replaces the need of a Super League, then I'm good. And
what do you think about, you did mention about all that exposure. I know that I think like La Liga and the Premier League are also trying to have a couple games in the USA. It's like the NFL. They have a couple games where they go to London to play or in Germany to play. I think they're trying to do the exact same thing. Like maybe have a Manchester Derby here, big game in the USA. I mean, it'd be awesome.
It would. I would hate to see a North London Derby here. Like it's not going to be the same if you have a North London Derby out in Harrison, New Jersey. Like it'll be great for me because I can go watch it.
Yeah.
But even me in the stands, I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, this is the North London Derby. No, it's not. Like it's the atmosphere.
You're not going to have that energy of the crowd. Exactly. You're going to have those chants and all that stuff. It's a nice attempt, but I just think
like how they bring,
and you might not get the best out of them. Yeah, the preseason dice. Next month, I believe it's going to be like Everton, Manchester United. I forgot who else is playing, but it's good. It's good. I got 2 games to watch for.
Oh, you can watch
I'll probably check that out.
You can watch your favorite team, Everton.
My other team, yes.
Yeah,
Everton. There you go.
But I wouldn't mind watching a preseason team. But also, like you said, they're not gonna. You're gonna see a preseason team. Like I want to see, like a game that's
stars. We're not gonna see
something.
Slowly, something is better than nothing.
But the selfishness of me wants to see it, but in reality, like you're not gonna watch. You're not having the real experience. So like, I'm planning on it. I don't know yet. I'm hoping.
No.
I gotta convince the wifey.
The wifey.
Try to make sure she writes me a check. I need her to write me a check.
There you go.
But we're trying to go in November, December timeframe to go watch a game, and it's between Fulham and Brentford. And I know they're not. I mean, they're both technically London derbies, but even that, I don't want to say it's a small game, or because they're still pretty good games. Like, just watching them over there, I think would be better than anything I would watch stateside if they were to come to stateside, and
even better than the New York Derby. No, of course.
The Newark
Derby. I feel like any of those. Yeah, the New York Derby. But Newark. I agree. Newark. I agree though. Even those teams like Fulham, Brentford, I think they would beat these teams in the MLS. And I just think going there to see that, to get the full experience, it's like top notch. Like, it's something that can't be beat.
Like even watching Arsenal and Tottenham stateside versus watching Tottenham and Brentford.
You got to watch it at home. You got to watch it as it is. You can't.
Yeah, it's almost like I feel like the experience that I'll be experiencing if I were to watch Brentford or Fulham and Tottenham in London would be a lot better than watching Arsenal versus Tottenham, even though that's a bigger game. But if you play that stateside, you're kind of like, okay, well, this seems more like a preseason exhibition game, But like I said, the selfish part of me, of course, I would love to see it here, but it's not the same. No, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. Not glad. I don't know even. I have like mixed feelings about this tournament. Like, it's nice to see.
Everything is mixed feelings.
People have been bringing up conversations too. Like, people have been messaging me like, "Oh, did you see this game? Did you see that game? Did you see this?" And it's like they weren't big fans of football, but now because it's here, it's being televised. There's more exposure to it. So I'm hoping what it brings is more exposure, more education.
Yeah, it
creates fans.
That's what they need. Educate them.
And who knows? Maybe we got to work part of the plan.
We got to work on our chants. Our chants suck.
They're so bad. They're so bad.
You got to take notes, but hopefully we get better.
What does that guy say? The Seattle Sounder? And score and win. What does he say?
I don't know. We just got to work on our chants. We gotta have. I mean, we're not gonna compete with them, but we got to just do better. Whatever. Lucky for you if you get to watch a game over there. I was gonna say overseas, but back where it should be watched.
When I was stationed in Germany, I used to go watch Kaiserslautern FC. One fuck. That's basically what they're.
Come on, say it how it's supposed to be said.
Kaiserslautern.
Kaiser.
And they were Division 2, and I think at one point when I was there, they dropped down to Division 3, but man, you wouldn't even know it. The stadium was just packed every single time. Fans were great. It was such an experience going there, watching them. I even watched Bayern Munich when I was over there. I saw James Rodriguez play when he was in Bayern.
Oh. James,
Jaime. And it just doesn't compare, and we'll see. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get there, and this might help. But Club World Cup,
baby steps.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
It sucks because it's making us look bad because of the way they're setting it up with commercials and ads, and people being like, "What the heck is this?" And the commentators are so dry.
Next season, they're gonna do. It's almost like the NBA where they're gonna do sideline interviews. If you get subbed off, they're gonna interview you.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Room interviews.
Locker room talk? Yeah, except when they're giving tactics. But you go ahead. You can. I don't want to watch Arteta talk about a light bulb, but that's what they're going to be doing now. I mean, I don't know what my take is, but let's just say you're a striker and you didn't score. Now you got to do an interview. I'm like, get the camera out of my face. I don't want to talk. Right. I'm pissed off. I think we'll see how it looks, but it's interesting take, but we'll see.
Yeah, overall, I feel like things are super new, and I don't think people really like new. Yeah. So I feel like there's gonna be a lot of negative. If it ain't broken, why fix it? Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of negative stuff coming out of the World Cup. A lot of negative about the new changes that Premier League is making. But once the season's over and they start getting into it, and people just start forgetting it, once they forget that it's an American concept, I feel like they're not gonna care, and then it's just gonna be normal. You know, it's just gonna be a normal
that's
part
just
of.
That's just a good time to go to the restroom or get another beer from the fridge. Just use it as that, but whatever. It is what it is. We'll wait and see when it comes out, and we'll see how it feels. But till then, we only can speculate. The season can't come any sooner.
And that is an episode. Thank you for joining us on Rivals on the Pitch. Please like and subscribe. Join us on YouTube. We are now on video, so you can see our beautiful faces. Spotify, you can listen to us on audio as well. But make sure you rate us on both. Hit that follow on Rivals on the Pitch Instagram. Join us next week. And I think next week we'll be announcing the winners for the kit giveaway. We scratched the deadline, so if you still haven't joined, go ahead and do it. We make the rules. We're the captain. It's okay. Yeah. And
we go down with the ship.
Exactly. I don't know what ship, but okay. And that's an episode. And come on, you Spurs.
You'll never walk alone. Let's do it. See ya.